Hi everyone, we'll continue with the second video on diesel engine power plant. Cooling system. First we'll go for cooling system. High operating temperature existing in the engine may disintegrate the lube oil film on the cylinder liners, resulting in wrapping of valves and piston seizes if the engine is not cooled properly. What is going to happen? Piston is going to seize in the engine, means you need to, it is very high and a disaster. So the proper cooling of the engine is necessary to increase the engine life. So why it is going to seize? As we know that what is the property of metals, as the temperature increase they are going to expand. If you heat a metal, it is going to expand. So like that, piston, if it is gets heated, it expands. If it expands little bit, also clearance between the piston and cylinder liners are going to be damaged, and it is going to seize in the piston. No further movements can happen because piston size is expanded. This is done by controlling the exit temperature of cooling water. If the exit temperature is too low, lube oil will not spread over the piston and the cylinders, resulting in wear and tear. So again, if it is too high, it burns and disintegrates. So minimum temperature, what is required, optimum temperature should be maintained. The exit temperature of the cooling water is thus limited to 70 degrees Celsius. As constant flow rate of cooling water increases the exit temperature of the cooling water with increased load, flow regulation of the water is desirable to control the same. So this is the closed cooling water system using soft water coolers. Now see here. So these are the engines. Just I'll take the pointer. So this is the overhead tank. From this overhead tank, what is happening? So this one connection to this engine, another one is connection to this engine. So overhead tank overflow is again going to fill in the hot well only, right? So whatever this water gets circulated in this engine, it is coming out and passing through this line to the hot well itself. So this second engine also, it is connected to same line and is coming to the hot well. So from this hot well, what is happening, you just see. So this is taken to the, water is taken to cooling tower through pump. So in this pump, what we are doing, we are making air to flow from the bottom, water to fall from the top. So in this period, in this zone, air is going to extract heat from the water, hot water, and as and when water reaches this sump or a reservoir, we can expect that water to be in a cooled condition. And suppose this water, if you want to drain, you can drain it out, or else if you want to reuse it, again it is going to pump it back to the main overhead tank. So this is how reuse, and this is the closed, this one closed circuit. Now so one more part is given here, this water softening. So emergency water, if this one hot water compensating, suppose hot water is, some water gets evaporated, some leakages happen, so you want to compensate the water, so that water also you are going to supply to this hot well, and that is again carried to the this one. So emergency raw water supply is also done directly. We can supply the emergency raw water in this pipeline, directly we can supply. So this is how is the cooling closed system cooling water. Closed so cooling, whatever I have written, that is written here. As the circulation of water is concerned, the cooling systems are generally divided in two types: open or a single circuit system, closed or a double circuit system. See open system, see here, water is stored in this tank. From this tank, what is pumped to the engine, it is circulated and it will come back to the sump. So there is single or a open system, it is no closed system. So So engine jacket corrosions because of dissolved gases in the cooling water, corrosion problems may be happened in this. So now we'll see the double or a double circuit system. Here thing is, the water which is used for cooling of the engine is not mixed with the outside water. See here. So water coming from the engine, it is passed through this heat exchanger. HE means heat exchanger. It is pumped back to the engine. So there is no mixing of this water. But you may ask me question, hot water is again going to recirculated. Why this heat exchanger is utilized? To here what we will supply from this circuit. One more circuit I am taking. Pump is taken and supplied to this heat exchanger. So cold water which is entering this heat exchanger will extract heat from this output of the engine water. So that heat is exchanged here, and here hot water is coming back to the sump, and cold water from this heat exchanger is going to the engine. So this is closed or a double circuit system. So here whatever I said, it is written here. When it takes up the heat from the jacket water and returns back to the cooling pond or tower. So this is the enlarged figure. Right. About 25 to 35 heat is lost by cooling water, which is known as jacket water loss. The rate of flow of water should be adjusted to maintain outlet cooling water temperature to 60 to 60 degrees Celsius, and rise the temperature of the cooling water is limited to 11 degrees Celsius only. Water used for cooling should be free from impurities. The type of cooling system eliminates the internal water jacket corrosion, but the corrosion may exist in the raw water circuit. Engine starting methods. Right. So in SI engine means spark ignition engines used for power generation in the DC plants. So we can use some small petrol engines to start the DC plants, which use a compression ratio 7 to 11. Hand or electrical motor cranking are generally used to start the engine. In CI engine, use very high compression ratio 20 to 22, and hence it is difficult to hand crank the engine. Hence some mechanical cranking systems are used. First one is compressed air system. So what we are doing, how the engine is started in the diesel engine or petrol engine. Initially, if we have a bike, we will just kick. After kicking, what we are doing, if we kick means we are making the flywheel to rotate and take the momentum of the piston to move up and down. So to make the piston up and down, what we need to do, we are supplying compressed air in the engine itself to make the piston to move from top to bottom and bottom to top. So this is the compressed air system. If after a certain time, if it gets momentum, we are going to eliminate the compressed air and it is going to start. So this is about compressed air. Electrical starting, we know that now instead of if we just press a button, the motor is going to drive the pinion and engages the tooth trim on the engine. As and when engine gets momentum, it gets the disengages automatically after the engine has started. How much we require? Battery of 12 to 36 volt is used to supply the power to the electrical motor. Third one is starting by the auxiliary engine. What I said, auxiliary engine means small petrol engine is connected to maintain the engine through clutch and gear. So if you maintain if you start with the clutch and gear, as and when it gets the momentum, it disengages and petrol engine is started by hand. Then the clutch is gradually engaged and engine is cranked by the starting. Clutch is disengaged automatically when the main engine gets started. Intake and exhaust system. Intake is a large diesel engine plant requires about 0.076 metric cube per minute to 0.11 metric cube per minute of air per kilowatt of power developed. Air contains lots of dust, hence it is if it is necessary to remove the dust content in the atmospheric air. So the air system contains intake manifold, we'll see in the diagram now. So these are all the about the silencer. We have filters must be used, dust type and dust connect concentration in the air we need to eliminate to, right. So oil impeachment type filter we need to use. Oil can seize and hold any dust particles being carried by the air. The efficiency of the filter drops progressively when in service. So oil bath type, dry type, cloth, felt, glass wool, filters, the different types of filters whatever we are talking. Capacity of such progressively when they are in use. The cleaning is done based on the amount of air used by the engine and dust concentrations in it. So this is the air intake system. So see here, so air duct, through air duct the filter we are using, filter, this is the diesel engine, so this is the exhaust gas silencer, this is whatever we have written, that is what is shown here. Exhaust system, we'll see in the diagram. See here, so this is the diesel engine. If here in this we have four cylinders, from each manifold the exhaust gas is collected. Expansion joint, based on the pressure it needs to be expanded or it needs to be contracted, so expansion joint is given here. So silencer, through silencer gases are going out of the engine. Following provision should be made for the exhaust system. So silencing to exhaust noise required. So if you remove the silencer cap, what it will look like, it will make more sound. So to avoid the noise pollution we require silencing. Discharge of the exhaust gases sufficiently high above the ground level. Water cooled exhaust lines and special high temperature materials for the exhaust pipes. So this is isolation of the utilization of byproduct. So these are all for the exhaust system. Lubrication system. So due to presence of friction, wear and tear, reduction, we need the lubrication. Thin film between the rubbing surface and prevents the metals to metal contact. Various parts that require the lubrication are cylinder walls and pistons, crank pins, gudgeon pins, big end and small end bearing, etc. Lubrication may be achieved in different forms. So mist lubrication is one, mechanical, forced lubrication, so full pressure lubrication. In this, oil pumps are used for the supplying the lubrication, lube oil or oils for this one. The cylinder walls are lubricated by oil mist that is slung outward from the connecting rod bearing or by splash rod ends to the oil foods. So this is the this one system. So oil from, so two circuits are here, one is this one circuit, another one is this circuit. Now we'll speak about first circuit. So this is from the oil tank, the pump, it is pumped here, oil is heated to reduce the viscosity and supplied to the centrifugal cleaner. So centrifugal cleaner, it rotates, and due to centrifugal action the impurities are going to fall back and oil is going to fall down. So that oil, whichever it is going to fall down through this two pipelines, it is again carried back to the oil sump, and that impurities are settled there. So this is for cleaning system. That is called continuous centrifuging system. From this oil tank, it is pumped. So here heated, it needs to be cooled here, and it is supplied to the engine, and from after supplying to the engine, it is coming back to the oil sump again. So this is how is the centrifuging system works. So this is whatever I explained, it is written here. Oil passes through the lubrication cycle, accumulates the impurities in the form of carbon particles, water or a metal scrap, For continuous reliable operation, attention should be given to oil cleaning. For this purpose, filters with a centrifuges or a chemical action have been employed. So mechanical filters includes these cloth bags, wools, metal pads, paper discs, cartridges of porous material. Rough cleaning of oil can be done by passing high speed centrifuges for a final cleaning. So this is a periodical cleaning should be done, carried for keeping the things. Thank you.